So, Kristen, what is some of the most unusual foods that you've ever had?
Let's see. I do like unusual foods.
I know you do.
Let's see. I've had escargot,
Okay.
and I've actually tried frog legs before.
Oh,
Yeah.
and cat food.
Ha ha ha. True, but ha ha.
So, how about like mashed potatoes?
Oh, mashed potatoes. Well, I've had some with cream cheese in it, but I don't think I've ever really had anything that's that different.
You're about to.
Uh-oh. Welcome to Mom's Wooden Spoon, where the recipes are retro and so are your hosts.
You can say that again.
Welcome to Mom's Wooden Spoon.
Yahula!
So, last episode,
Yes.
I was super excited at the end of the episode to mention
Yes.
that this episode, we're going to use a vegetable
Yeah, that's
that
right.
is delightful.
Delightful.
So, in preparation for today's episode,
Yeah.
I was looking at the recipe and my heart dropped. Kristen, we picked an episode with a delightful vegetable and spinach. I know. And the great part was I was editing our last podcast and I'm thinking to myself, oh, she don't know.
I didn't know.
I was like, ooh. So this recipe is called Mrs. Erie Souter's Different Mashed Potatoes.
They are different.
And I'm like, yes, potatoes, bring it. I love potatoes.
Brang.
Yes, chip, French fry.
Yeah.
Mashed,
And
baked.
oh,
I
so
don't care,
good.
double, twice baked.
Oh, she even likes potato skins with snails.
No.
Okay, no.
Potato skins with cheese and bacon.
Bacon. Yep.
What I was not anticipating
Carrie.
was spinach.
I'm really sorry. But you know, the whole reason that we picked this is because we looked at the title, Mrs. Erie Sauter's Different Mashed Potatoes, and we're like, yeah, it don't get more Northwestern Ohio than the name Erie Sauter.
True. And it kind of feels like a little bit of a saloon on Mrs. Erie Souter that her potatoes are different.
Yeah.
So I did, as I always do, use the Google box to look up the recipe.
Yes.
And this is all over the internet.
It really is.
And people love them.
So apparently it's not that different after all.
No, maybe it was back in the day when Mrs. Erie Souter made these.
That's right, because this was from Mary's final memo. So we really don't know the exact year.
Right.
Yep. And I did some digging about Mrs. Erie Sauter.
Oh, I've heard.
There are two Mrs. Erie Sauters. He was married to his first wife for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And she passed in 74. And then he married the new Mrs. Sauter, I believe, in around 76. So I'm assuming this is probably the new Mrs. Sauter.
Oh, we can't even give credit to the correct Mrs. Sauter because she wasn't worthy of a first name.
She wasn't worthy of a first name. Welcome to the 70s, right?
Yeah.
But then, as I'm thinking, oh, this is such a Northwest Ohio name, I was like, what? This is the Mr. Sauter. This is the guy who created Sauter's Woodworking, Sauter's Furniture, and my ultimate favorite, Sauter Village.
Yeah.
Yes, I even have a t-shirt from Sauter Village.
Oh my gosh. And thank the lucky stars that this sucker is not videoed because she wears that stinking t-shirt.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm going to go with 6 days a week.
I wear it all the time, not 6 days a week. Smart Alec. So anyway, I loved Sauter Village when I was a kid. I still love it. Do you remember going to Sauter Village?
Yes, as a kid.
Yeah.
And also now. Like, is a trip to Ohio. Take the kids. Enjoy the experience. And I'm sorry if you hear the noise in the background. we're peeling potatoes because we have to mash these suckers. This is not instant boxed mashed potatoes.
That's
This is real live potatoes.
This ain't no Bob Evans mashed potatoes right here.
No, and Kristen is very quietly peeling her potatoes, and I'm like,
She is.
plonking and making
She
all this noise.
is.
So anyway,
Wow.
okay, so Mr.
Yes.
Sauter.
Yep. He created Sauter Village when he retired. And so that was in 1976.
All right. I mean, and what a boon in Northwest Ohio. It's 20 minutes away from Defiance, where we grew up.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing else nearby. You've got to go to a big city an hour away.
Yep, it's in Archbold, Ohio. And I mean, it is delightful. We go there, and even if we don't go to the village, we go to the dough box.
That is one of my father's most favorite places to go.
It is a bakery, obvi.
And they have, just delicious things.
So
I don't know if
good.
you've been listening to us for a while. We made these giant sugar cookies.
The Amish sugar cookies. Yep.
And while we frequently just get them at Chief Supermarket,
where they are delicious.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes.
They also sell them at the dough box.
They do, and they are good. Oh,
everything.
They have butterscotch pie there.
That is my absolute favorite. If you've never had butterscotch pie.
So good.
OMG.
Yep. So the dough box is delicious. And they also have a restaurant called The Barn.
They do.
Yes, which to some is quite blandy bland. Your husband.
I was like, I don't want to disparage the barn.
I like the barn.
We love going there.
Yes.
But every time we go, my husband and my daughter come back to the table and they are like, so everything was white or brown.
That is true.
And there's no salt on anything or to be found. He's like, how do we make this taste like food? And I'm like, it tastes like food. It tastes like Midwest Ohio food, and
100%, and
delightful.
it's delicious. And they serve apple butter on the table,
and that's really all the spice you need.
It really is. It's
slapped on
so good. Well, when I was a kid, I think it might have been my second grade class. We went to Sauter Village. The whole village was supposed to teach kids about what it was like to live in northwestern Ohio, starting in 1803.
Yes, they have like cool things, and they have a little village. So you can go to a school, you can see a farmhouse.
Yes.
A barn that has real life animals.
That is true. And was smelly.
Yep. I don't remember the smelly part clearly.
Oh, I do.
Kristen.
But then they had a barber shop.
Yes.
And we were second graders, and we all crowded into this little bitty barber shop, and there was a barber there. They have reenactors, and that's awesome.
Barber shop.
What? Yep. And they asked for a volunteer to get up and have their face shaved with the straight razor.
What?
And every boy in my class was a chicken licking.
What? You went to school with
chicken lickings. And I don't know what came over me.
Because you were the biggest chicken of all.
I was the biggest chicken of all. And I volunteered to get my face shaved.
Kristen.
Yep. It was a special day. It obviously was a special day because I saved my memento from it. So I get up there, he puts me in the chair, he puts a cloth around my neck, and he takes obviously not a sharpened straight razor, and he puts lather on my face with a little brush, warm lather all over, and then he scrapes it off with this, fake straight razor, and he takes a piece of wax paper and he puts the remnants of the shaving cream, he kind of wipes the straight razor into this wax paper, folds it up, and writes on it. And I kept it all these years.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? My little remnants of my day of getting shaved.
One day of bravery.
One day. That must be why I kept it. Why else would you keep the remnants of shaving cream in a piece of wax paper?
That's very unkid-like Kristen.
Very much. I was a chicken.
To just stand up in front of the crowd and say, yes,
first
put me
of
on
all,
display.
Yeah, to put me on display. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe he pointed at me when it went, you. And I went, okay.
I can't say no.
I can't say no to adults. That's fine.
I would love to.
Yes, please take a straight razor to my neck. Yeah, so that was fun. Loved Sauter's Village. Love it today. Love going. They've expanded it. It's just wonderful.
It is a fun place. If you are anywhere near Northwest Ohio area and you're looking for something to do for a day, we couldn't encourage it enough. And if you are just kind of driving through, they do have a place to stay. There's a
They
hotel
do.
now.
That's affiliated with the
village.
The village. Yeah, it's just a wonderful place. Our wonderful, wonderful school principal and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Furness.
Yes, Kristen's going to cry. Avid volunteers at Sodders. And Mr. Furness was the driver of the train.
So cool.
And so every time we would go see him, and our kids would go see him to get a ride on the train. It takes you through the village. And
that was so fun to have Mr. Furness drive the train.
Yes, yeah. So we went recently, and they now have kind of in the back of the village, it's like a 1920s city. It's really neat.
It's really neat.
They have a little movie theater. You can watch a little silent movie.
That's right. They have a speakeasy.
They do. And they have like a gas station and car place.
That's right.
And so we went in there. They have an old car. You can check it out. It's a REO Speedwagon.
What?
Yeah, it was a car. I had no idea.
I didn't know that that's what that band was named after.
I only learned it because of Sodders. So even to this day, I'm learning stuff from Sodders.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all in all, just a wonderful place. So I'm so excited. You know, in the first place, we were just doing this because what a Northwest Ohio name.
Yeah.
And now I realize we're celebrating Sodder Village.
Yeah, which is super fun.
And Sodder Woodworking, I mean, their furniture is sold all over the world, really. It's furniture that you get when you are in college or have just graduated and you don't have any money.
Hey, I am pretty sure that I bought a solder piece when I came down here. Picked that sucker up, put it together. It was a computer cabinet for back in the day.
Yes.
When you had a large computer.
That's right. It was kind of like an armoire, right? A computer armoire.
Yes. You could pull out the desk. You could put your very deep monitor.
That's right.
Way back on up in there.
Yeah.
And then keep your papers and stuff all organized. I used that sucker. It sat in my house for the longest time. And I believe someone has inherited that.
Do you know why I'm saying that I know all about it? Because it's upstairs in my son's game room.
Yep. So it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It does.
Furniture.
It does.
Didn't you have a roommate once? And so she would go to the Sodder, like, used broken furniture. So like if they made, let's say, a bookcase, and some of the sides of the bookcase got broken, they would just sell all the shelves. And super cheap, because what are you going to do with just like a rando shelf?
Right.
So she would go and buy pieces and kind of puzzle them all together and make her own furniture.
Oh, yes.
And the only reason I recall this is because she had taken a bookshelf. So she got the edges of the bookshelf, got them all together, and then these shelves, but the shelves were way too long.
Oh, right,
for the bookshelf edge, so they would dip way down in the middle.
I remember that now. Oh my gosh!
But you could get this stuff for like crazy cheap.
Yeah.
And so she had this whole like super giant dippy bookshelf. For like $25.
That's back in the day, that probably was cheaper than that.
Probably it was a steal of a deal.
That's awesome.
So scratch and dent, basically.
Scratch and dent for Sodder's furniture.
Sodder, scratch and dent.
I love that. Well, it's funny because this recipe is called Different Mashed Potatoes. I thought it might be fun to look up some of the most different mashed potato recipes that I could possibly find online.
Okay, fascinating, because I looked up rando things they stick spinach in.
That's hilarious. So I'll do mashed potatoes and then we'll go to the spinach.
Okay.
I found some really weird ones, Carrie.
I am sure.
My first one is my ultimate favorite, and it is for you. One woman from Britain stated, I can't help but enjoy mashed potatoes, garden peas, and tomato ketchup, liberally smashed and mixed together using a fork into a dark beige paste, reminiscent both in appearance and texture to overcooked rice pudding. Oh, I know, after our ketchup fiasco with the Velveeta last time.
Yeah. Now, I will say my daughter has a friend, and one of her favorite snacks of all time is canned peas in mashed potatoes.
Really? Her favorite snack?
You know, she'll eat it as a meal. She just loves it.
Canned peas and I mean, I do love peas.
No.
But I never thought of mashing them up in your mashed potatoes and then adding ketchup.
No, definitely not. And then a beige. Oh gosh, she really sells it.
Yeah. And then there was another British guy who said, a couple of very soft-boiled or poached eggs mixed into mashed potatoes with a fork give it another yummy quality. Maybe it's like having hot potato salad.
Yeah, well,
You know,
yeah, I
you
guess.
put egg in potato
Did he
salad.
say soft boiled eggs?
Yeah, so the yolk is runny and mixes in. Oof.
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing.
No, there actually were recipes where you add a raw egg to the hot mashed potatoes.
And then that just cooks it?
Yeah. I don't know about that.
That sounds yucky to me,
Yeah. The final person suggested.
Are they British too? Because, I mean, right now I'm feeling like we're really kind of picking on the British in their craptacular mashed potato combos.
They were not British, and they recommended adding pumpkin.
Pumpkin mashed potatoes, so they'd be slightly sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, without sugar, the pumpkin is not that sweet. I don't know. But you know what? This recipe actually has sugar in it. Let me read the recipe to y'all. So we are going to mash the potatoes with a splash of milk, and then we're going to add all kinds of deliciousness. We're adding sour cream, butter, salt, and a teaspoon of sugar, oddly enough. Pepper, chopped chives, and instead of chives, we have real thin green onions because they didn't have any chives. That's okay because I think they'll be delicious. It's not very much either. It's just,
like
let me see, 2 teaspoons. So it's just for a tiny bit of flavor. Like we said, it's a Sauter's recipe. We don't want to go cuckoo with the flavor.
No, we don't want green things showing up in there.
No. So I think that'll be absolutely fine.
I hope so.
This also has dillweed in it. Did I mention that? Dillweed and, of course, the spinach then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's going to have some greenery. Okay, so now that you got us back to spinach.
Oh, yes.
But I picked out the two that were the most appalling to me.
Okay.
The first one is titled Oatmeal Spinach Chocolate Chip Cookies.
Wait a minute. Nuh-uh.
And so as I'm looking at these things, not only did they include spinach, but one of the sweeteners was mashed banana.
Oh, this is a healthy recipe.
And so I looked at the cookies and they've got their little pile of spinach, oatmeal, mashed banana. I don't know what else they put in there to make it healthy. Cookies. Honestly, it totally looked like little blobs of baby poo.
Oh, I bet it did. With the color of the spinach.
It was so unappealing. And the lady who made these is like, my kids just loved them. And I'm like, why?
Are your kids not able to
eat chocolate chip cookies that taste good?
I know.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know. They were awful. Okay, but I've got a topper.
Oh, you do? I can't believe you're going to top that.
Okay, so the title, it's not going to appall you.
Yeah.
Spinach brownies.
Okay. Could it be worse than beef brownies?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Except,
yeah,
they're called spinach brownies. They look just like brownies. They're not sweet. They have onion and cheese in them.
What? Are you expected to serve those to children?
I don't know what you do with them. I gagged. So, anyway,
wow. I mean, if you called it anything but a brownie, you might eat that.
Why would you call it a brownie?
I don't get it.
And they put onion and cheese in it.
Oh, no.
So, all I'm saying is
yeah,
you know what? Yeah. Bring on the different mashed potatoes.
No kidding. Those sound like a treat compared to
they're not spinach brownies.
Oh, that is awful.
It's a stomach turner.
That really is awful.
Pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
Pretty bad.
Well, gosh. Okay, so we have the potatoes, but I got to move on. I don't want to talk about that anymore. It's so gross.
And the look on her face, she's kind of like, how do I get out of this?
Let's pivot.
A hardcore pivot.
Let's talk about this recipe real quick because the potatoes are going to be done pretty soon. We're boiling them, and this is like a multi-step recipe, I believe.
Kristen is pretty concerned about the steps in this.
Yeah.
We have reviewed them.
Yep.
4 times to date.
I'm reviewing them for our listening audience, kids.
She is so lying.
Okay, you're right. I'm reading it for myself. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are going to cook and mash the potatoes, adding milk as needed. So I have a handy dandy tater masher right here.
And I have
milk as needed. Yeah. Okay, good. And then once they're mashed, we're going to add sour cream, butter, salt, pepper, and the sugar.
I think that's all part of the mashing process.
No, and then we're going to beat it till fluffy.
Yeah, and then you add.
That is the point at which we add the chives, the dill, and the spinach.
Yes, and it's really called dillweed, and every time we say that, Kristen chuckles.
Dillweed.
I don't know what
You're such a dillweed.
I don't know what it is about it, but
because it's funny. That's funny. I came up with some fun things that we might have gotten for Christmas in
Ooh,
1976.
1976.
Yes.
All right. So you would have been first grade Kristen.
Yes, maybe even
Kindergarten?
Kindergarten.
Yeah,
because I
'cause
was
you were a
young.
baby.
I was a wee baby.
Okay. And I
Yep.
would have been
3.
toddler Carrie.
Yeah, toddler Carrie.
Okay.
One of the things that came out in 76 that I know for a fact I got for Christmas.
Ooh.
Wondra hand lotion.
OMG.
Do you remember that stuff?
We have a home video of Kristen and I going through our stockings.
Yes.
And I'm just a classic second child, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm kind of freakish.
Yes, true.
I don't follow the rules if I don't have to.
Yeah.
I make my own way. I'll talk back. And Kristen is the perfect epitome of a first child.
Yeah.
She is responsible and organized.
It's so good to be me.
She is all of the first child things. And so we would go through these stockings very
methodically, really.
That's the word I wanted. Very methodically.
Not just the stockings, but our parents. And I was going to ask our listening audience about this. Our parents, I am so sorry. Santa did not wrap our gifts. When we came out at Christmas morning, all our gifts were strewn. I was to the right of the hearth. You were to the left of the hearth, and some of them were up onto the hearth, split directly down the middle.
Yes, not under a Christmas tree.
No.
And not wrapped.
Not wrapped at all.
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing out there was wrapped.
Nope.
Okay, so this has been a fascinating thing.
Yeah.
As Kristen and I both got married.
That's right.
Because our husbands both had Santa wrap their gifts.
That's right.
When he delivered them. And they both obviously had glorious memories.
Yeah.
Of their gifts being wrapped. And I cannot speak for Kristen, but I said to my husband, anything you want wrapped, you go ahead and wrap.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
my Christmas was great.
It was great. And we were oddly, the word I used was meticulous. We would go from one corner and we looked at every single gift and we played with it and we opened it. And then we moved on to the next one, just as if they had been wrapped.
Yes.
And what a time saver for our parents. What? I mean, Santa.
Jeez.
Time saver for Santa.
Santa's elves loved our house.
They loved our house.
No wrapping necessary.
None.
Okay, so how many years into Santa coming to visit your son did it take?
Yeah.
Until no gifts were wrapped?
Oh, I have to admit, there are still a couple that get wrapped.
Really?
Yep. How about you?
No, it took a year.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, 1 year. He wrapped some the first year. The second year, I was like, hey, what do you want wrapped? And he's like, this looks great.
That's funny. Well, here's the thing I must admit. I do it to be nice to my spouse. I still wrap a couple.
Oh, okay. But how funny is this? Santa gives both of us stockings. And Santa wraps all the gifts in the adult stockings.
All the gifts in the stockings are wrapped?
But only for the adults.
What?
Yeah, the kid's stocking, not wrapped.
Okay, that's different.
I know, it never dawned on me until just this moment how incredibly weird that is.
That's wild. But you know what? I think everybody's traditions are special and awesome, and I just really don't think that it matters how your family does it.
No, it doesn't. And it's amazing how sold on your tradition you can be.
That is very true.
And then again, like my husband, he knew Santa coming and not having gifts under the tree and not having them wrapped. That just ruins Christmas. That's just a fundamental part of a joyous Christmas until he realized that Santa coming and not wrapping anything is a joyous Christmas. And my daughter is equally as methodical. It's because it's overwhelming.
That's true.
To see multiple gifts all at once, you take it all in. Obviously, you see things.
Yeah.
But you've got to go through it all at some point. And so you just go one by one.
Absolutely. One by one. And so that is what I did with the Wondra hand lotion that I received in my stocking.
So I totally got off. Kristen's going to have to cut the crap out of that because I went on and on.
That's okay. I'm going to pour the potatoes in the colander real quick, and then you can tell all about my delightful Wondra experience.
Oh, she's so cute.
Boy, that's steamy.
So my big type A sister, total first child.
Oh, yeah.
Got her stocking, nothing wrapped, got through the stocking. We have a little video of her pulling out the Wonder Lotion. I'm pretty sure we both got to the Wonder Lotion simultaneously.
Probably.
And then here's little Kristen. She puts it on in this just gentle ballerina, I don't even know what to say, dance type movement of beauty and poise as she puts this lotion on. And I'm in the background, like slapping it on. Lotion's flying everywhere. I'm flicking out the lotion, moving on to the candy. And Kristen's still also it's up her arms a little bit. I mean, just so gently and precisely applying the lotion. It is.
It's funny to have the video of that and see how anal retentive I was even back then. Yeah.
It's a perfect statement of who we are, really.
Yeah. And you know, a lotion that came out the year before Wondra did that our mom had in the cupboard all our years growing up, rose milk.
Oh, I hated that stuff.
Did you? I loved the smell of that.
I
so
like
rosy.
No, I didn't like the way it smelled.
Oh, that's
it
funny.
was watery and horrible.
Oh, I liked rose milk.
Oh.
Probably gave me eczema, but that's okay.
I'm sure everything gave you. Breathing gave you eczema.
Well, speaking of milk, I'm ready to add the splash, Carrie.
Oh, Kristen.
And mash these taters. They look perfect and fluffy. Carrie got russet.
It had nothing to do with the fact that all the other potatoes started at $7.99 and the russet started at $2.99.
None of that.
Okay, so Kristen is checking the recipe now for the 156th
Oh my
time.
gosh, will you be nice to me?
No.
I'm going to add the butter
added
in.
milk is needed. Then she's going to throw in some butter, salt, pepper, sugar, and sour cream.
Why are you
I'm
reading
going
it?
to help her with the sour cream.
Why are you reading it? I thought you knew everything that went in there already.
I'm a joyous
Oh, you are a gift to
behold.
everyone.
This smells like yummy mashed potatoes.
Oh, it's starting to look really beautiful.
It is.
You know, I happened upon an Avon catalog from 1976.
Oh my, we never had Avon.
We did not, unless we got some items as a gift. And I did get some Avon items as a gift.
Did?
I did. Do you remember those solid cologne-filled lapel pins?
No.
I had a gingerbread one, and you open up the head.
I do.
Yes, I still have that.
They stunk.
Yeah, I don't remember what the cologne smelled like. I don't have any cologne left in mine. We'd love to hear from our listeners if you had any and which ones you had. The one that came out in 76 was a yellow bunny with a white tail. And there was another one. There was a Jack in the Box one that came out in 76 as well.
Okay.
But I did not have that one. I just had the gingerbread one, and I think that came out in 73 or 74, something like that. I thought those were so cool. But something we saw in our grandma's house every time we used the restroom was from the beautiful Avon catalog, 1976. Do you remember those cologne bottles that were shaped like women in dresses? And you'd pull their tops off, and under it was the little cap for the cologne.
I totally forgot about them until just this very
moment. I mean, I said you'd pull their tops off. You wouldn't disrobe them.
It's not like those pens with the bikini-clad lady.
Turn it this way, they're naked. Turn it this way, their bikinis back on. No. It was, you took their entire torso off and then were able to access the cologne. Our grandma had several of those on the back of the commode. Do you remember those?
Totally forgot about those. Those stunk too.
Yeah, I don't think that they were the most delicious smelling things. She had a yellow one, a woman wearing a bonnet and carrying a basket of flowers. And she also, I believe, had a blue one.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that she ever used them, but they sure looked pretty.
Oh, they were beautiful.
Yeah, so that was from Avon.
So stinky.
Oh my gosh, 76.
I
would
wanted
love to
Avon things so bad.
So badly. My friend who lived in the neighborhood, Kim, her mom sold Avon. And so you would go and open one of the closets in their home, and it was just floor to ceiling Avon products.
Oh,
I wanted them so badly. Yes. She had cool mitts that you would use in the bathtub, and one was shaped like a cool, like Jabberjaw shark. I wanted that one real bad.
I remember going through Avon catalogs, just dreaming. If only.
They were so cool. And then at one point, I think in high school, I don't know how I happened upon it, I had a little Avon lipstick sample. I don't know if you remember, but they were.
Oh, I totally. Grandma had those.
Is that where I got it?
Yes.
This one was brown, and I thought it was the coolest color ever. I wore that in high school. I am sure that is the color of lipstick I am wearing in my senior picture. That brown Avon sample.
Yes. And I'm sure Grandma gave it to you because she didn't want brown.
Well,
and
yeah.
I am pretty sure that is the only lipstick our grandma used was the free sample Avon lipstick.
Oh, of course she did.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I remember those with the little clear plastic lid that got wider at the top.
That's right. And they were just teensy tiny.
Super teensy tiny.
What a clever idea to make those for women to sample the lipstick and then just take with them so that they can dream about it fortnightly later and then call their Avon lady and say, I just can't live without this.
Our grandma never called her Avon.
She never did.
She just took whatever the next free sample color was.
She's like, could you come over because I need a different color to try.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So our potatoes are mashed. We need to whip them and then add the other stuff.
I know. I don't wanna. I mean, we're gonna because it's what the recipe says.
Yeah.
They look so delicious.
They're beautiful. They mashed gorgeously. But I'm going to take these over. We'll follow Mary's recipe.
Should we get a fork and try them just to make sure that they're edible?
Yeah, you put the salt in. Here's a fork. I'm going to take a first bite.
Well, I was going to try. Kristen's trying. And she hates them.
Those are yummy mashed potatoes. If you don't even want to add the spinach, guys, this is a great recipe for mashed potatoes. It's so good.
It is good. Although everybody seemed to love the spinach online.
Yeah, so I can't wait to try that. So I'm going to whip these.
Okay.
And then when I come back, I want to tell you a few more things that would have been in our stockings or on our side of the hearth in 1976 Christmas.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you guys in a minute.
Whip it good.
These are gorgeous mashed potatoes.
They really look so delicious. They tasted amazing. I feel like if you're in a hurry, forget the whipping.
Yeah, really, it didn't need it. They mashed up beautifully. Back to 1976 Avon Christmas stuff.
Okay.
You know, there was something that I always wanted from Avon, never got. They were lip glosses in a little plastic hamburger or a chocolate chip cookie. And you opened it up and it was a lip gloss duo.
Oh, they were split in the middle?
Yes. And so you had two different colors, a more peach color and a more pinky color. And they were those lip glosses that you just rub your finger in.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, did I want those so badly. I also wanted the Avon little kid nail polish tint. So it wasn't real nail polish. It was for little kids, and you would paint it on. It was very clear. I must have been at a friend's house and was able to use it. Probably Kim's. And you paint it on your nails, and it just tints them. It's like you took a marker and colored on your fingernails. That's what it looked like. And they also had a different product at that time that wasn't Avon that looked like the same stuff. But then when you were done with it, when you were sick of having it on, it peeled off.
What?
So cool.
That sounds like I don't remember any of that.
Oh, it's because you were so little.
But I do love, to this day,
Uh-huh.
I love a tinted chapstick.
Oh, me too.
I love my favorite. Forget lipstick.
Yeah.
I just want a nice tinted chapstick.
So nice.
Yes.
I love the lip. It's probably my love and want and need of all things Avon lip gloss
that you never had. Yeah. It's your mean mom.
Santa. Mean Santa.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Mom.
Yeah, Mom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's put these potatoes in this casserole dish because we're going to then bake it. I was like, what did she just say? She said, "Boink." We're going to bake this, but first we're going to top it with cheddar cheese.
We are. I got so excited about the bake that I talked right over you.
That's okay. You know what? I am taking a little pinch of this and tasting it.
She didn't even use a spoon. She just shoved her dirty finger in there.
Oh my gosh.
Did you get some spinach?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't dislike spinach.
No, I don't. But this is good. Yeah. Boy, sorry. I just licked my fingers so loud. Schmick, smack, schmick. This crap is good.
I mean, she can't keep her fingers out the meal.
I keep digging it in.
She's slapping them in her mouth.
I was worried about the way the dill would taste in it, but it's quite yummy.
I'm excited to try these.
Now, do you put the cheese on before you pop it in the oven, or do you wait for a bit?
I don't know. Let's check the instructions. Okay, Kristen can't talk right now because she is eating these mashed, like she's got her fingers in the bowl. She is cleaning up the sides of the casserole dish by conveniently running her fingers through the mashed potatoes and shoving them in her mouth. Then she goes to the bowl that we had stirred the mashed potatoes in. Guess whose fingers going around the edge of the bowl and picking up the leftovers? It's Kristen. She's going to pick the bowl up any second and shove her head in it.
So anyway, spoon into a 2-quart casserole, top with the cheese, and bake at 400 for 20 minutes.
Okay.
It makes 8 servings. I think
we've
this
got
is...
the oven on 450.
I do? Oh, dear God. We won't be baking this for a while.
I liked her. I do?
I'm going to be opening that door and letting a little heat out.
Right, well, these are never going to get baked, people.
Never.
She's
Never.
just eating them. She's going to burn the crap out of her mouth. Because as soon as these suckers come out the oven, she's going to start shoveling them into her mouth.
Get in my pie hole.
I have never seen her like this. So the girl is either starved or these are the best mashed potatoes she's ever eaten in her life.
I do believe they're delish.
I will find out.
Yeah. As I scald my mouth with flaming hot lava mashed potatoes from heaven.
If it's just me talking, we'll know it's because Kristen has lost all the roof skin of her mouth.
See you in a bit.
By some miracle, I have kept Kristen out of the mashed potatoes.
Not for long.
I mean, it was sitting out cooling and girl was salivating.
It's been cooling quite a long time, so I think we're ready to taste. I'm going in right now.
It's beautiful. The little bits of green look lovely. By looking at it and by scooping it up, the only thing I have to suggest is maybe to make the mashed potatoes a little wetter than we did because they look a little dry, but I obviously haven't tasted it yet. So I'll wait and see what Kristen says. But I'm thinking with the baking, it might have, baked out some of that liquid. And so maybe you need to start with a slightly liquidier mash.
They are a little dry, but they're very fluffy. Take a taste.
Okay.
They are just some of the fluffiest potatoes that I have ever had. And the cheese got baked on so that it's not ooey gooey. It's kind of a brown, chewy top. Oh, it is wonderful. You probably could just pop them in the oven and just bake them long enough for the cheese to just melt. That would probably be the best thing. I don't think it needed 20 minutes at 400 degrees.
I agree completely. And they're delicious.
Oh, my goodness.
They are a little dry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the shorter baking time.
Yeah.
And I'd eat these suckers piping hot right out of the oven.
Oh, yes, I would.
With that melted cheese goo on the top.
Oh, yeah.
These are delightful. I am not a huge fan of spinach.
Well, we know that.
I really disliked the last spinach dish.
Oh, man, I know you did. And at first on the episode, I said, oh, yeah, this is fine. This is good. And then later, my husband and I had the leftovers. It was not fine and it was not good. This is fine. And Carrie just took a bite with a huge blob of spinach in it.
I did on purpose.
Yeah.
Not my favorite when there's a huge blob of spinach.
No.
You do get a little more of the spinach flavor. But these are delicious mashed potatoes. I wish they weren't quite so dry.
Yeah.
So I just think keep that in mind when you're making them.
Yeah. A little more milk, a little more butter would have been nice, actually.
And maybe less baking. Because you're right, the baking was truly just to melt the cheese because they were hot going in.
They were.
And so, just warm them up a little bit. And
yeah, when it said 400 degrees for 20 minutes, I thought, I wonder
what would happen if I turned it to 450 is what you thought.
That's why they're ruined.
That's probably it. It's all Kristen's fault. Again, it would have been a nice Christmas, but Kristen.
Yeah, you know what? I made Christmas like the gifts that Grandma used to get us.
10 in 1.
Yes, 10 in 1. No, actually, do you remember those very disappointing shampoos and conditioners that she used to get us? They looked so cute. They would have a little kid picture on the outside. They were no Avon products, let me tell you. They had cute little pictures on the outside, and sometimes the conditioner said egg cream
Yes.
on it. Do you remember that?
Very much.
And you'd pour it in your hand, you'd be in the bath, and you'd get ready to wash your hair or put the conditioner in, and it was like nothing.
No bubbles at all.
No,
None.
They were so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And I remember Mom trying to say, no, egg is great for hair and it makes it all shiny.
Yeah.
I wasn't buying that. Carrots aren't sweet, Mom.
Carrots aren't. Oh, I'm gagging. Choking on the mashed potatoes. I ate so many.
Girl has been insane with the mashed potatoes.
They're really, really good. I'm disappointed that they're a little dry because they were absolutely perfect before we put them in the oven.
Yeah, I think make them just a little wetter than you normally would when you put them in the oven.
Yep.
Cook them less time and deliciousness.
Oh my gosh, so good. Although I would put a little pat of butter on that and not be sad one bit.
No, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
they're mashed potatoes. Melt a little butter on those suckers.
Add
That
a
is
little
what one
butter.
does.
I mean, this was a treat. I am so excited that we made this.
Yeah, we may add this to our Christmas dinners.
I don't see why you wouldn't. It really wasn't that hard. It's like making normal mashed potatoes, and you can't always guarantee that the mashed potatoes you make are going to come out great. And these just really did.
They very much did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And that is it for this episode.
Yay.
So thank you for joining us again. Make sure that you mark your calendars for our next episode. It's our New Year's episode.
Ooh, yeah.
December 30th. There's going to be beer.
Ooh,
I know. There will be taste testing, drinking, possibly some cooking.
Maybe some problems.
Unfortunately, no beer pong for your life.
Oh, no.
Probably. We do have to do some cleanup. So I'm, just brainstorming here. That may be a good idea.
That's a good idea.
We'll see. Don't miss it to find out. Thanks for listening to Mom's Wooden Spoon. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe. If you want a copy of this recipe or to see the pictures and other items from this episode, go to our website, momswoodenspoon.com. If you'd rather, check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Pick your poison.
Don't say poison. We're making food.
No. Don't you wish your fella was dumb like me? I don't think it's a fella. I know it's not dumb. Don't you wish your girlfriend was dumb like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend... I don't know.
I don't know either.
Cheap and easy like Kristen.
You're rude.
Kristen, Kristen,